YouTube folks, I apologize. We had technical difficulties, but hopefully now we are going. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Heather says, anyone excited about getting new art stuff for Christmas? I am excited I want to do a year of not buying any art supplies. Is that possible? I feel like I have so much that I can't, but at the same time, I want to try it. Should we try it? Should we try a year of no purchasing art supplies and just using what Marcy says no. Barbara's saying no. Okay, maybe we won't try it. It's hard. I know. Candy says, my husband says I have enough supplies, and Asma says only because I'll be treating myself for Christmas. I know. That's the thing. That's the thing about Christmas. You just want to buy stuff for yourself because you deserve it. All right, let's get going. Okay, I am going to start with, speaking of which, I'm going to try to reuse my art crayons. Cindy says, let's try it. I can't find anything I don't already have. Cindy, maybe it's me and you this year. Maybe we try that. You want to do it? Just try to... try to use what we have. I know Debbie has a lot of collage stuff that she could use. Okay, so maybe that would be the year of no buying art supplies. Oh my, that's gonna be hard, but maybe we can try it. You go to the store and you'll take a picture of it and buy it for next year. How about that? 2026. Anyway, let's get started here with Fairfield Porter. And let me just open up my sketchbook here. Does anybody like gouache? I want to try gouache. I have gouache lying around and then I keep forgetting it. Maybe we do some gouache instead of watercolors. I always feel like the new year is a great time to try new things. Anyway, maybe that's just me. All right, this is the clothesline. As you're doing Fairfield Porter stuff, I would like for you to look at the links I sent you for afterwards. There's like so many sketchbooks, like insane amounts of sketchbooks that he had that the Smithsonian has. So really worth checking it out. Carla says, I want to try gouache. Yes. Okay, great, Carla. Let's do it. Jay says, I do art experiences with people in care homes, so I'll have to buy paper and paint, but I'm up for not buying new supplies that I've not used up. Awesome. Let's try it. Maybe we'll just do that. All right, so let's get going. And I know some of you probably have things in the oven, so I don't want to take a lot of your time, but I would like to do some squares. So let's do some practice squares, and I'll try to read what you're saying as we're going here. I got all excited about using what we have. It seems like it might be a good use of resources. Of course, the art supplies folks always show us new things, right? Margaret says, I'd try it. I've already gone 4 months. The exception is paper sketchbook if you run out. Yeah, of course, if you run out. But you could use grocery bags. I was thinking about doing that too. Like cutting those out and using them. But yes, let's try it. Let's do a year of... But what can we do with the money we save? I feel like you're going to save a lot of money for not buying supplies. It's going to be hard, but I think we can do it. All right. So let's, Debbie says grocery bag squished up and then flattened to make a great substrate. That's true. Oh, Denise says buy more coffee. I like that idea. All right. So I'm looking at this. I think I'm going to use my little, what are these called? The art crayons. And I'm just going to make marks. We're just trying to get the feel. We're just jumping in. And then I'm going to use some watercolor. Get some darks in here. just try to, I'm just doing this little corner here, right? So, you know, we like to, I like to jump around. Great idea by Jay. We can trade if there are things we no longer use. Oh, I like that idea. Maybe we do a little trade of some sort. I like that. Because I do have some things that I don't use. And I'm like, what am I going to do with all this stuff? You know how, like, have you ever tried an art tool and then you're like, wow, I really don't like that. Like, that is not for me. Have you ever tried something like that? Where you're just like, I'm glad I tried it, but I'm not going to do that again. Was there an art tool that you thought of that way? I'm trying to think. What is something that I've tried to use?
I keep trying to like the glass pen. Have you seen those glass pens?
Yes, I use those all the time. But are they? Oh no, they're not glass pen. I have a glass pencil. It's like a pencil, but it writes on glass. Is that what you mean? That's the one that I have.
Not that.
Oh, okay.
It's actually made of glass. It's like a calligraphy monoline pen.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, that is hard. That is a tricky one. Now that you mention it.
Can't figure out how to get a smooth line with it.
Is it for dipping in ink? A dip pen? Dipping pen?
Oh, there you go. That's
Yeah,
probably.
those dip pens are so hard and will always make messy blotches. So they're great to use if you don't mind blotches.
Maybe for like fine lines, maybe for like detail work. Maybe. I don't know. But I know exactly what you mean. I have some of those writing tools that I'm just like, I bought this and then I don't know if I like it. But yeah, I tried pastels, Jay says, and gave away too dusty. I've given up on acrylics, so donated to school. That's a great idea. Donate to a school. They can always use art supplies. I'm just focusing on a tree, so this is just a warm-up that we're doing.
Joy,
Yes?
I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but my only seeing you as a tiny little square amongst all the participants.
Oh,
How can I make bigger?
is Margaret here? Margaret's got to be here. Margaret, do you
All
know?
you have to do is pin her. If you go on the top of the screen where Joy is sitting, there's 3 little dots, and you can select the option to pin, and then her screen will stay on yours much larger.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. That's great.
Margaret, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you. When I saw you here, I was just like, yes. If I have any questions.
I almost didn't come. I'm in the middle of moving, as you can see.
Yes, I know you got a new place, right?
Supplies out.
Ah, I'm so grateful. When I saw you, I was just like, yes. So thank you, Margaret. I appreciate that. Hopefully that helped, Claire.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm feeling the green because right now in New York, the leaves are gone. They are gone, and it's starting that dreary winter. I don't know if any of you live in New York, but I heard there's supposed to be snow. Snow coming. And so, you know, that's great and all for my children. They love snow, but I am just not the biggest fan. All right, so that's my first take of this. I'll scoot it over. Of this clothesline. How about we try it? I'm just going to zoom in with the red because the red's kind of cool looking. And those of you that have just joined us for the first time, thank you for being here. We're just warming up. And I always like to not do the whole thing, but you can do the whole piece of art if you want to. We're just trying to be inspired by Fairfield Porter, who didn't even start his art career really, or his first solo show, until he was like in his 40s. So, you know, I always like to hear about people that have started later. I'm like, oh, I still have time. All of us still have time to just enjoy the art, you know? I'm just adding some pastel. These little art crayons are great. I can't remember who mentioned it, but during one of our painting with Joyce, they said, can you wet that? And I did, and it spreads. It's so good. So these art crayons, I know we just said we can't buy any more art supplies, but but if you want to, before the year ends, get some art crayons. That'll be good. and then we won't buy any more art supplies. They're so great. I just forget that I have them. Does anybody have that problem? Like you forget that you have these art supplies? I do it all the time. And then I'm like, how come I never use that? So that's why I took these out. It's buried under the rest of my stuff. Made by King Art. Yes, it is. Oh, is it? Made by Marabou. Marabou is what it says. Debbie says, Stefan says to me, you do. It's hard to keep track. All right, so let's keep going here. I just want to say a special shout out to Christine, who is normally, those of you that have joined us here before, Christine's the one that's in her porch with like sun, and she's always creating. Anyway, she is not here, and she's recovering, so I just want to give her a special shout out and say hello. I accidentally put a blue, but is it an accident? Maybe I did it on purpose. I don't know. I always accidentally dip on the wrong thing. So anyway, I thought this was a really cool way of creating, where you just plop paint down, because I vacillate between wanting things to be super precise and then wanting things to be super loose. So it's a balance for me in my brain to try to make that work. And sometimes it doesn't work, but it's always fun to just mess around with it in the sketchbook. All right, so those are my first two from Fairfield Porter. And I just want you to notice the blotchy way of his work. I think it's oil. I can't remember. I should have looked. If you click on that clothesline link, it will tell you what it is. It's probably oil. But you could do this in acrylic. I just did it with these crayons, whatever you have lying around. All right. This I was really excited about because of all of the different tones of color. So I was thinking that maybe we try this, but you focus on just the tiniest bit with all the different colors. So trying to do a landscape. I'll talk to you more about it in a second, but let's try this little piece. I'm getting ahead of myself. It sounds like I'm making sense, but then as I'm talking and it's coming out of my mouth, I'm like, Joy, what are you saying? So let's try this first, and then I'll show you what I mean. We'll do one. And I know I've already said this, but I actually want to see what you're doing because I didn't get to see that yet. So I'm going to remove my pin. How are you doing? How are we doing? Do we want to hold it up? Oh, Cindy, circles. You're blowing my mind right now. You're doing circles. I love it. Patty, that looks great. Catherine, you have a toned tan. Awesome. Heather, this might be your vibe. It looks good. I love it. Marion, I saw yours for a second and then it disappeared. Great. Hi, Jackie. Good to see you. Okay, Karen? Marcy, so cute. All right. And then I'm like, oh, who's Joy? Oh, wait, that's me. That's me in the corner. Hi, Barbara. Looks great. Okay, we'll have to hold these up and then I got to take a picture so that I can see everyone's. Hi, Lisa. And somebody is there with you creating. Hi, can I see your artwork? Lisa Edwards. Oh, you're holding it up. So great. Thank you for being here. Here, I'll pin you for a second. Oh, I love that you joined us. Lisa, thank you. Let's see, where did you go? Give me just a second. Okay, Lisa, can I see the artwork? Oh, it disappeared. We might have to find a way to do it. Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, maybe you'll have to take a picture and show us because I'm just so excited that we have friends here joining us. Hi, Sylvia. All right, so please share that with me later because that just makes me smile. All right, I'm going to pin myself again and here we go. All right, I just want to make sure that I am streaming. Okay, great. So now let's try this. I want to do the wonderful washy kind of look. I don't know, maybe that's why Fairfield Porter, speaks to me, because of the way the colors are, combos of colors that I never would have even thought to try. Then I'm like, whoa, of course I want to do that. Okay, I'm just doing the lines, like the lines right here. You know what's interesting to me is the reflection. He has water here and the reflection of it. That's kind of cool too. I don't know if Laura is here, but those of you that are in Facebook with us, she went to go see Van Gogh and shared some amazing pictures. So if you are on Facebook, on the Painting with Joy Facebook group, please take a look at those because they are just absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just kind of doing this thing here, but it doesn't look like what Fairfield Porter did. And that is okay. All right. Next, I'm going to take some orange crayon and yellow. Just put that here. Just swooshing. I'm just doing a lot of squishing. Being very loud right now. Sorry about that. I'm really excited about trying these art pencils that I haven't used in so long. And now that I've found them again, getting to play with them. All right, so I'm just kind of laying down some colors that I think might be fun. It's not really even looking like what is on my page, but that's half the fun, right? Just trying new things. So take a second and do that. And I'll read some of the things that you have shared. Debbie says the King Art brand of mixed media sticks are great. Oh, I didn't know that. The Marabou ones are the better ones. Okay. Patty says speaker view. Patricia said, I thought the shelves were just minimalist. Your shelves there, Margaret, she was talking about. Sylvia does not like gouache. That's interesting, Sylvia. I have like a not sure how I feel about them kind of relationship. Turns out I have both the above sets, rarely remember to use them. Oh, there you go, Candy. I'm so glad. Awesome. Okay. So that's like my little thing, but doesn't it feel like it needs dark, like the green to kind of anchor it? I always feel like when things are floating, I have to put a dark green just to ground it myself. Maybe that's why I like camping so much. Now that I'm saying this out loud, like maybe that's why I like being outside. It grounds you. I'm just, uh-oh. There's somebody calling, and I have to try to figure out how to turn that off. Okay. Anyway, I apologize about that. But yeah, maybe that's why, I don't know. I'm just thinking about this as I'm talking to all of you. Maybe that's why people say go out in nature. It grounds you. But yeah, the green kind of just makes me feel good. Like it's supposed to be there. Even with the flowers, when I do the flowers, when I add the green, I'm like, whew, that feels good. All right, so that is my weird abstract Fairfield Porter part of an autumn leaf look. And I just want to use what Fairfield Porter did here and expand it. What do you mean expand it, Joy? I mean, look at this. We didn't even get to touch on the pinks. Maybe later you can do it for homework. I did a whole bunch of links there for you to check out. And I never do this, but I figured I would plug the Painting with Joy Master Mashup if you ever want to watch that. It was a really fun class where we took Van Gogh and we took Fairfield Porter and we just kind of mashed up their work together and made something. Anyway, I just threw that on there. Here's the other piece. This is a mountain looking scene. So I wanted to try this in a way, and I won't do a box, but I think we'll just sketch it out and kind of see what works. But what I was thinking is pick two or three colors from the Fairfield Porter autumn scene and just use those. So like for me, I use the orange, the green, and a little blue. Oh, I guess I used some yellow too. So whatever, just pick two or three. Let's pick three. And then use that for this piece, okay? The snowy mountain. It'll make sense as we go along. At least that's what I'm telling myself right now. As we go along, it will make sense. All right, so I'm just going to sketch. And as you know, just being loosey-goosey, just making these little marks everywhere. These are the little mountain landscapes. I'm not even trying to make it exact, but I'm just kind of getting a feel. My mind is like just kind of following, the spots where there's not white, where there's not snow. This is a snowy scene. So I'm just being loose. Always ends up being very abstract. Debbie says, I love his use of reds and pinks. I know, me too. It's really good. So I am going to take my darkest green having a hard time opening these things. And I'm just going to put that all over where I think the dark spots are. This is just an experiment. Painting with joy is just about experimenting, not making things perfect. We're just, after all that cooking you're doing, or hanging out, or about to prepare, cleaning your house for family, it's just sometimes fun to just mess around and relax. So that is my first pass. And since this is kind of like watercolor, I'm just gonna wet it a little bit. It's a really fun supply, this art crayon. Please feel free to either type if you have a question, or anything like that. Would love to answer. Mine's kind of wild. It's a wild landscape, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to use some orange. And just going to go where the white snow is. Maybe I'll use 3 colors. This to me just reminded me of a painting already. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, Fairfield Porter. Looks like something he would have done. Just adding that there. And then taking a brown, that's going to be my 3rd color. It's pretty crazy looking now that I'm looking at the screen and the main page. But you know what? It takes me, when I post something online, it might look like, oh, wow, that looks great, Joy. But you don't get to see like the million other, I say million, the other artworks that are discarded on the ground because they just, you know, maybe I wasn't warmed up or whatever. It's just one of those things that happens. So if yours looks as crazy as mine, that's okay. This was an experiment that I thought would be fun. And I am having a good time with it. Just trying to see where, I'm trying to see where to do the different marks. Add another brown up here, maybe. I think if I was to do this again, which I may, I would probably just really kind of pay attention to the lines. I went super fast and just kind of drew. But if I was to do this again, I think I would definitely pay attention to where the browns are and then where the highlights are. I keep spilling on my page here. So if you want to try this again, maybe that's something to think about. It looks really floaty to me, so I just want to make myself a little box just to feel good. Okay, so that's my first pass. I'll probably do that again later. I'm not sure. But how did yours turn out? Debbie asked, do you think when he interpreted this landscape scene, he rendered it while in person or from a photo? I love his interpretation. I'm not sure. Are you talking about this one? This one is just a, this is an actual photo that somebody took. And so I thought maybe it would be good to use that because like his use of like the blotchiness of the color field was cool to try to put.
No, when he did the art, like, do you think he was in person, like plein air?
Oh yes, I think he did. Yeah, I think he did because he had a lot of inspiration from he had a lot of inspiration from his family's I think they have a little cottage. I don't know. I think it's in New Jersey, and he would go out and do plein air painting. So, which makes sense why he would do the big blotch pieces, you know, like the big maps of color, blobs of color. Denise says, found my King Art clearance that I forgot about. Great! If anything, this class just makes you go dig in your closet for things that you haven't found. So that makes me really happy. All right. So let's see how you did. Those of you on YouTube, you will have to bear with us for just a second because I love to see what folks interpret because mine always looks a little crazy. And then I see everybody's and I'm like, oh, they get it. They know. Oh, wow, Marion. That is beautiful. I love it. It looks so beautiful. Barbara, look at Barbara's. Barbara, I need to go skiing in that ski slope you just made. Wow. How? You blowing my mind. It's so amazing. Okay, Esther, can you hold yours up just a tiny bit, Esther? Ooh, that patch of green. I love it. Mandy! Whoa! Very cool. Heather looks great. Thank you, Patty. How do you guys do? Margaret, whoa. How do you do that? Hi, Carla's looks great with the green. You want with me, green and orange, right? I love that, Carla. I always end up being Sylvia, did you use watercolor? They're dancing. That looks really pretty. Okay, let's hold it up real quick so I can take a picture. I think what I did, where's my view? I did like multi-speaker gallery. Okay, I'm just gonna do, hold it up, please. And I am going to take a picture right now. If you would like, if you don't want to be on it, you could look down or smile, whatever you would like. Esther, can you hold yours down just a little bit? I can't see it. Down a little bit more. Or maybe it's up for you. All right, ready? Here we go. I'm going to take a picture in 3, 2, 1. Click. Yay! I'm going to share that later. Thank you. Let's see. Back to work. Or play, actually. Back to play. All right. So maybe for homework, you could do a few iterations of this. I always feel like we go so fast here that we don't get to spend a lot of time. But if you have time, do a couple more colorways. All right, I'm going to turn to another page. I think I'm going to flip this over like this. All right. Does your sketchbook look like mine where it's all turned every which way? Sometimes I just don't want to wait until things dry. I just turn things and move them. Okay. Now let's do the same kind of inspiration, but we're going to use this picture and let's just keep it blobby. Do you know what I mean by that? Don't be so concerned about making every detail unless that's what you would like to do. But let's just make it super blobby and kind of Fairfield Porter inspired. Meaning like if you have to kind of look at this again, let's take a look at this again. Do you see what I mean? Like the giant blobs of color. And some of you, this might speak to you to where you start creating in this way where it's just very loose. Yes, Heather, use big shapes. Bye, Ellen. Thank you for coming and happy Thanksgiving to you. Use big shapes. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Big shapes and then we can come back and add your own, if you want to add detail, you can. But right now we're going to use big shapes. I am going to take a piece of paper and put it over my page, just so I don't get everything wet. Okay, there we go. So to me, I think I'm going to start with watercolor because that feels good. Whatever feels good to you. And I'm actually going to start with this little giant shape. Let's see. The funny thing about the camera is it never likes to stay where I want it to. There we go. Okay, we're plopping down big shapes. That's what we're doing. Thank you for that, Heather. And then I'm just plopping down a bunch of greens right here. As you can see. Do you remember that Picasso quote where he says something about it's taken him a lifetime to paint like a child again? I just think that is so powerful. I say we, it's really, I can't say we because I don't know what you have done, but I feel like I'm always getting stuck or focusing on the littlest details, the making things just so. And I want to learn how to paint like a child again. That's what I like. My nieces and nephews came over Monday and they love to just say, Aunt Joy, let's paint. So we just come in here and we paint together, and they are fearless. They'll just take my supplies and go for it. So I wanna remember to do that. I'm doing this green blob here. I'm looking at things as blobs. I'm not looking at them as leaves and trees, which is very hard when you love to do things in a way that is more realistic. Some of you are amazing realistic painters and artists, so this might be something that's out of your comfort zone, doesn't feel good, but I don't know. Sometimes it's just fun to try something new. Susan says, mine was a fun playground. Happy Thanksgiving to all. Yes. I'm just really grateful that, I know I said it already, but I'm just so grateful that you joined me. I thought it was just going to be me painting by myself, really. And I am just glad that you took time out of your busy schedule to come play with me today. Okay, I'm going to do some green here. Is anyone traveling? Like, are you going anywhere tomorrow? If you are, where are you going? We are not. We did our Thanksgiving a little early this year since my mom was here to visit. So we did our gathering on Monday, which was a lot of fun. But is anyone traveling? And if you are, people are busy. Okay. We kicked out our family so 3 of us could take your class. Debbie. Heather says, how we got the classic midlife crisis sports car, so lots of, that's amazing. Road trips are the best. Bring your paints, Heather. So while you're traveling, you can paint along. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna put.
Sorry, go ahead, Joy.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I traveled. I'm actually in Las Vegas at my daughter's house, and I do travel with my paint stuff. And
That's
so,
great.
I came from Monterey and stopped at a hot spring place on the way, and then arrived here to do Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Yeah, I've already traveled.
That's awesome. My mom is actually in Las Vegas with my extended family, my aunts and uncles. So, and then from there, she'll go back to the Philippines. I think next week. All right, so now I'm going to add some blobs of where the branches are, or the tree trunk, which sometimes just never really falls in line with what I am envisioning, which is half the fun, I feel like. Half the fun of art is discovery, and then finding what works and what doesn't, and then trying it again. I think that's why those little boxes are really, really fun for me. Della says, Happy Thanksgiving to all in the US. Here in Canada, tomorrow is just a regular day, so I'm attempting my first visit to the local mall to start Christmas shopping for my nieces and nephews. Good luck shopping. That's awesome. I tried shopping the other day, and then I went to the mall to grab something, and then I was over it. I was just like, I cannot with the amount of people around me. It was just a little, I didn't think it was going to be that busy, but it really was. And I was just like, no, thank you. So I'm adding some green. It looks nothing like my picture here, but actually it's making me feel like I really like how this is turning out. Like forcing when I do this, I kind of think about like what would Fairfield Porter do, and how would he tackle this particular part of the piece, and that helps me focus a little bit and be like, okay, don't get in your head, try something different, add different things. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And just adding another part here, kind of like this little section. I don't know, I might just leave this as is after I add more greens. I really like it. For weirdly, sometimes it takes me a while to like what I'm doing, but for some reason I like how getting out of my head and trying a different way of doing things is this part is helping me. And the art crayons, maybe it's the art crayons. Maybe later on when I in Facebook, those of you that are in the Facebook group, I'll remind us that we're gonna try to do the not buying art supplies challenge, and then maybe we'll check in and be like, what did you use this week, or what did you create with the stuff that you have, or something, and see just a little bit of accountability, because I feel like I'm gonna need it, because I am going to be looking at stuff and looking online and seeing what's on sale. Somebody already mentioned Black Friday sales, and then I'm going to want to buy something. But I really, really want to try this year to not do that. The 2025, I mean. So we're not in 2025 yet. So you can still buy stuff if you want to. You still have some time. But once that,
They're like creating loopholes.
yeah, exactly. But once the clock, that January 1st, then we're like, oh boy, no more buying. But yes, if you have to buy paper, of course, buy paper. All right, so that's going to be I don't know, I really like it. Yeah, Cindy says, quick, get it now. Maybe just one little fountain pen. Maybe just one more glass. Try it. Try that calligraphy pen, Debbie, one more time. Let's see. Jay says the tree texture is so different than the water, even with the same color. That's true. Heather says tariffs on foreign supplies may go up next year, so that's a good idea. That's interesting. Yeah, it may. One never knows. It just seems, I feel like this year is my child. I say child, one's 13 and one's 15. They're always like, is your favorite word this year interesting? Because they always say something and I'm always just like, yeah, interesting. That's interesting. So it's going to be interesting how, this year I feel like 2024 was a really big year of just an interesting year. And I'm looking forward to I just like how the art crayon added texture to whatever it was I was doing. So, and I was holding it really far away. So try that too. When you try to get too close sometimes, it's hard to see. So scoot back a little bit. Let's see, what else? So while we're doing this, I'm going to go over the homework. Try to do this again. Maybe try to do a couple more studies of the autumn tree. And then from the autumn tree, try to make yourself a few of these studies of the snow-capped mountains, or go outside and try doing something similar. And then try this with a different color. Maybe do like fall colors or pinks and greens. That's always fun. And then maybe read a little bit more about Fairfield Porter and look at his sketchbooks, because those are always so fun. So in the next few minutes here, I'm just going to... Can you believe it's 7:26? How? It goes by so fast. All right, it's 7:26. So I'm going to keep going for just a little bit more, and then those of you on YouTube, we will say goodbye to you. Try to join us on Zoom next time so you can see everybody's beautiful artwork. But I'm just going to add some highlights with this art crayon. And then I want to check in and see how you're doing. I can't seem...
I asked about trying to paint more childlike.
Yes.
And I find if you use larger materials, for example, like I painted with this brush.
Oh, that's
an inch
good.
and a half.
Okay.
And then I went in with some detail. So it forces you to not be able to control. I'm going to pin Margaret. Like at the end of the implement too is really good. Even your pencils, whatever.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Margaret. Look at your studio. You're right. You're packing up. Looks great. Thank you, Margaret. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Christy says, thanks for this great break, Joy. Thank you, Christy. Let's see here. I am going to pin myself for a second. We have about 2 minutes, but you don't have to go. You can stay for a little bit if you want. Marcy asked who makes your art crayons. These are called Marabou art crayons. If I can see the colors. Marabou. Marabu. Okay, so before we look at everybody's art, because I know some people have to go, I just want to just say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, from all my heart. When people say the bottom of their heart, now that I think of it, what does that mean? I guess deep in your heart. Okay, so deep in my heart, I just want to say thank you, huge thank you for joining me, taking time out of your busy day to just come hang out and play with me. I really just want to, on this Thanksgiving Eve, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate all the help, all the patience. Thank you. And now we are going to look at your beautiful artwork. Goodbye to all of you that are on YouTube. And